Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, everyone? How you guys doing? YouTube, Facebook, whatever it is you're watching and you're hearing, and we're discussing this. This is what technology brings us, all right? But congratulations to everybody who is trading, who is involved in this. But we want to talk about overall trends, quick, fast today, all right? What the trend tells you, once again, a trend tells you what direction the stock is going, all right? There's the overall trend, and then there's the current trend that the stock is in right now. Okay, this is what we're looking at is an overall trend of Apple. Now I can go back 20 years on Apple, 30 years on Apple, and it's like, to do what? To figure out the overall trend on Apple. Yes, I can do that, but we're not gonna do all that. We're gonna go back about 3 years, all right, on a weekly chart on Apple, and we're going to determine in 3 years where's the stock coming from, what the stock is doing. We can always go back a longer time frame, but the basic point is to understand what we call trend lines. All right. Now, looking at Apple from here, I always tell you guys, when you're looking at the trend, you're looking at it from left to right, correct? Yes. So from left to right, you're going to look at left to right. What is the trend? So Apple right here, just looking at this column right here, left to right. Apple came out right here. This is 10/13, 2014. We're going to go back. All right. Look at here. See right here where Apple's hitting right here? This was the first high Apple hit. All right. This was the first high. Then you had to pull back here. Then you had the next high. Then you had all this dip, dip, dip. All right. So what I normally do is from the first move is where I like to start dissecting everything, right? So from this first move here, it went down. So I could have easily, matter of fact, let's hit the uptrend first. All right, this was the first move. Remember, none of these things had happened yet. So if the first move was this and it went down, then this is what would I have been anticipating. Okay? So this is the trend line I would draw. All right. After this move, what goes up must come down. So after the first move up, okay, this is where it started to go sideways. So this is where I drew the trend line down. So now after that move, okay, this was the bottom here where the stock opened up. Again, you could have drawn this trend line here just to have this cross intersect right here. Okay. So that automatically tells you if the stock is going to go up, right here, this trend line, this is the trend line I'm following for the stock to go up. So if the stock is going to go down, this is the trend line I'm following. And why did I draw the trend line here? Because this was where it opened at. From the open, it kept on moving higher. It kept on moving higher. So we're going to follow the move higher until that move comes to an end. When that move comes to an end, then we're going to say to ourselves, this was the highest move that it made, okay, to the upside. So this move, this ceiling right here, become very important because it's gonna go back down and retest everything down before it comes back and retest this high right here. So this high right here is still very important. So I'm gonna draw the trend line just to draw a line. Okay, remember, none of these things happen on the chart yet. These things did not happen on the chart. They did not happen yet. These things did not happen. You see here, 2015, 16, they did not happen yet. We're just following here. So based on the trend line right here, so you have this trend line right here, you got this trend line. So based on these two, now that this move happened, I can create another channel from the first high to the next high, which is here. So from the next high, this is where I draw a nice channel, okay? And I want the body of the candle. I don't really want the top of the wick. Some people say it's better for the top of the wick, but I want the body of the candle. You see from the body of the candle, it hit this high, boom. Now, like I said, from following this trend line, if you was trading this stock, you see what you start to have here? You see what you start to have here? I already drew this one already because this was after it hit the high. This is where it went sideways and it kept. This is the first time it tried to test the high, right here. Okay, remember this was the high, but this was the first time this candle tried to test this high. So this candle becomes more important. Why I draw this trend line right here? Because now, no matter what action it does, it has to come back and break this line before it can continue up higher. As you can see, it never did. Okay, now follow me here. This is when I drew this was a couple of years ago. So now after when Apple came out of here, you see when this red candle penetrated the trend line here, then right here again it penetrated again the trend line. Like once it come out of the trend line, don't expect it to remain in the trend to keep going up like this, because this is what we was expecting. But as you can see, it came out of the trend line and it created a whole another trend right here in the bottom. And I can take the same trend line that I drew before, which you can see it here still, and I'm going to redraw it again. Okay, this is the same trend line here. Okay, but the same trend line now, I can also redraw here. Okay, so from here, this was another low that it made. Okay, this trend line becomes very important now, because now we got another channel that is it created on its own. You see what I'm saying? This channel, once it broke the trend right here, you shouldn't be trading Apple no more. All right, if you're gonna own the stock as an investor, then own the stock. But to be trading it in and out right here, this is where it got dangerous for you. I mean, if you're a new trader, if you're a seasoned trader, you can keep trading the stock, no problem. It's a little bit harder because even after this move happened, as you can see, all your move didn't really start happening until back here. So back to the trend line. Now, as you can see now on this trend line, you broke this trend line right here. Now I had to draw another channel just to see where is it going to trade. But this channel right here, the top of here, is still part of this new down channel right here. The only thing is, from this high to this low now, this is the new channel that I was betting that the stock is going to follow, because now you have a new trend. It broke the top trend. Now let's see how it's going to follow the bottom trend. All right. But as you can see, the bottom trend right here is what it was following before it came back on top and break this channel right here. Okay, so it followed the channel correctly for almost a year, another year, almost a year and change. So was following the channel, trading the channel, the correct way to play it? That's why I say I don't know, because everybody in the markets trade a little bit different. Everybody got a little bit insight to their own idea of what they're trying to do and how they're going to go about it. So me, like I said, trend line, it eliminate you have to worrying about these, stuff like this. What is the indicator telling you? What is this indicator telling you? Because before I even use the indicator, you can tell it broke trend right here. So the trend is down. But if you want to use the indicator to help you make a better decision, the indicator, my MACD right here, already broke down way before it came out of trend. It came out of trend right here. My MACD broke down right here. Okay, the momentum in the stock, which is the only indicators that I have, my momentum broke down right here. All right, and if you want to go back to the money flow broke down way before. The money flow started to break down right here. You see? So this is without me using the trend line. But but if I'm seeing all these technicals are breaking down, the stock is still inside the trend box, which is still right here. I am waiting to see how long is these technicals going to get away from the top before the price resume trading towards the trend line. But as you can see, the indicator kept on going further down, and then finally it broke out of the trend. And when it broke out of the trend, it stayed out of trend for a while until it found itself down inside this trend line, between here and this trend line, to the downside, here and here. See the channel, and both channels I drew from top of this candle. See, this is the first one, and this is the second one. Better yet, going down right here. These two channels, and you can see now when the indicators turn around, you can see right here, you was already testing the high part of the trend line, because the trend line is on a slope on a 45-degree angle. So as you come down here, you can see price and the trend line are going to intersect. And you had a strong momentum. You had a couple of weeks of strong action before you touched the trend line. But when it touched the trend line right here, what did we expect to happen? We have momentum picking up right here, momentum. The money flow is still kind of shaky here, but it's up. From this point here, money flow is up. And from here, you got MACD is also up. Okay? So this is why, like I tell you people, learn to look at the trend line before anything else. All right? So by looking at the trend line, as you can see, it did your job for you. You didn't have to second guess yourself in trading. And this is square. No, actually, this is not. This is sand. SQ. I need to look at square because this is another new one. All right, this is square right here, and I already took the liberty of doing the trend lines because this is not a stock that's too old. This is a stock that came out public here. All right, as you can see right here, we're trading. It's only a year, 2 years has been this stock actually been in business. All right. I don't know, something is wrong with my chart because this is 2017 here. I don't know why it's showing me here, but anyway, this lesson is about the trend line. But let's look at this, right? This is where the stock came out, went public. Then you can see the stock went here, then it went to it did a low right here. So this low becomes important because this was the first major low that it did. After it dipped this way. If it took a low, it made the low and it started moving up from there. So this is why this low is important. The high, we didn't have a high yet because this way it's open and went sideways. So the next high that become important is the next high that it make. The high that break this high. The high that break this high is actually right here. So let's work with these two trends, right? So the first trend line we're going to look at is right here. All right. You see, I drew it for you guys. This is the trend line. Remember, none of this shit happened yet. None of this happened yet. So don't confuse yourself by trying to match the line exactly where these things are. Because I didn't try to do that, okay? Because none of these things existed, all right? See, that's why I removed the drawing again. You see from here, this is all I did was draw a trend line. From here, this was the first high point here. So this is where I drew the trend line. See, you have a choice to either catch the wick or don't catch the wick. Because everything is exactly matching. So me, I said, I'm going to catch the wick. See what I drew? So it's no different from me drawing it from here. So I'm trying to see what's going to happen longer term. So I drew it extended here. So none of this thing had happened yet. So now, like I said, I found the low. This is the low. I drew the low here. So if I'm trading square, this is where I'm looking to trade square. Inside this box right here. Inside from here to here. And let's look at what the stock did. Remember, none of this happened yet. So look, it hit the high. It came back. It hit the low. All right. Now it plays. Of course, the moving average, like boom, look, it went to hit the high of this trend that I said. Now, once it broke the trend, now you can bet now's the time to put the bank on this one, because it did the work. It came back, hit the top, came back to the low, tested it, went around, and then boom, it popped up. So this is where I will put my money in. All right. So now this was the top of the open. So I drew this twice again, like I did here. I drew this one more time. I drew it from here to here. Again, I'm using the same one here. And then on top of here, because now I have two highs, all right? I have this high right here. Then I got this high that just put in this week. So I went back to where the stock went public at a couple of years ago. From here, I'm drawing a trend line twice. One trend line from when it opened up to this high, and one to the new high right here. To see now if this thing start to trade up here, will it trade within this channel? And as you can see, this channel was smaller, and this channel has gotten wider as time is gonna go by. So now the range for this channel is 33 to about 29, and there's nothing that says that the stock cannot trade right here like it did here for this whole year, for the rest of the year. So this is what trend lines and trend line, when you're looking at trend lines, what you're supposed to be looking at, okay, when you look at trend lines, all right? So that's why I'm not going to go into too much details with the trend line. Let's just get too used to looking at it from the left side. Oh, this was the stock open here. This was the low. This was the high. So we're going to draw all our trend lines between here, this 1 point here, this 2 point here, this 3 point here. So no matter how you look at it, it's from 1 point here, 2 point here, 3 point here. This is where we're going to draw. Whatever we draw here is going to determine the factor of how price move, when it's going to take the trade. Okay. This is only a 15-minute video. You know what? I'm not going to go into too many details. I think I gave you guys a lot of information. So digest this information for now. And I'm going to post this as quick as I can because I had technical difficulties earlier. But digest this, and I'll stay in touch. I'll put up some more. Enjoy. Peace.